Very good morning to you, Mpo, live to you from the National Assembly precinct. And I can tell you that it's a very beautiful day in Cape Town. The sun is out. You might see me in the shade. Well, those are the buildings helping to shield us here. And you might want to ask the question, why is my mask off? Well, we are socially distancing. So the viewers, please bear with us, because sometimes it really is difficult to speak from under the mask, but we are also in the air. So we are able to breathe easier. And I am joined, Mpo, to answer the very questions that you are putting to me by the Speaker of the National Assembly, Mamthandi Modise. Speaker, very good morning to you. And as we initially spoke, we are socially distancing, so I'm going to ask you to take off the mask. Yes, my viewers are going to love to see you talking. Speaker, let me start with the question that my colleague has pointed out. It's the first of its kind. It's a hybrid sitting. How many people are going to be inside the National Assembly? And importantly, South Africans would want to know, is the President going to be inside there?
Definitely, the President will be inside. The Deputy President will be inside. Chief Justice and another judge will be inside. The Dean of the Diplomatic Corps will be inside, representing the international community. And all in all, presiding officers and parties, we intend not to be more than 50. We anticipated that we might be slightly under 50, and that is very deliberate. The chamber is large enough, but we are confining ourselves to the numbers which South Africans out there are being confined to. The rest of the members and the rest of the invitees will be on the virtual platform.
Speaker, let me also ask the question that usually comes with the State of the Nation address, and that is the costs of actually putting this together. There's not going to be any pomp and ceremony. I doubt there's even going to be an opportunity for the fashionistas as they file into the assembly. So explain that to us.
There is no red carpet. Clearly, if other people are not in the mood, South Africans have lost. South Africans are dying. The economy is bad. So we have decided that we will not have this pomp, this red carpet. But you will also be aware that over the years we've been bringing down the cost of SONA. We had budgeted 2.2 million. So far, up to late yesterday, we are only paying for the connectivity, and we are standing at 100,000 because it will be connecting all of us and all our guests on the platforms. Yeah.
Speaker, South Africans, most certainly, I think they will appreciate the costs being brought down by the National Assembly to host the State of the Nation address. But, Speaker, the National Assembly has come under the spotlight, particularly recently at the State Capture Commission of Inquiry, some suggesting even that Parliament, for its failure to hold the executive to account, has actually become complicit to corruption. How do you respond to assertions like that?
There's no way we can, after listening to what has taken place, after looking at the questions which come from all members of parties to the executive, after sometimes looking at the quality of the response that members get, after getting the non-responses from the executive, that one can say, indeed, we have done everything that we could. When I was in the NCOP raised the matter with the then Deputy President about ministers not responding and how we needed to deal with it. And he threw back the question at the Parliament and said the power lies in the hands of Parliament to deal with the ministers who are not performing on their side whilst we deal with it. So we intend this year to start cracking the whip as Parliament. We actually had started We monitor the responses. We monitor the many times we are asked for postponements. We write a report which we send through to the presidency. We think that we want to change tactics. We want to hit a little bit harder because we think that, in fact, Parliament must begin to have its own scorecard. There are ministers who are absolutely hardworking. There are ministers who are so hardworking that sometimes they find parliamentary work to be a nuisance. So we will be talking a lot. But we also want to acknowledge that every 5 years we bleed Parliament. You bring in new members. It takes time for a member fresh out from Ekaya to understand and to gain enough confidence to take on heavy questions and to stand their ground and to put those questions. Of course, every 5 years when it starts, we train members. But our electoral system says that I can't just ask this question, I must remember where I come from. When you are a presiding officer, you are conscious of the manifestos of all the parties. And sometimes when there is irritation from a question from one party to the other, we keep calm because we only understand that that one is asking from their own point of view. So maybe what we need to do is to, after elections every 5 years, is to say your point of view, your manifesto are subjected to the Constitution. Here, what matters is the millions that we all represent.
Speaker, unfortunately, because of time, we're going to have to leave it there. I would have wanted a much more robust discussion with you, but let the Speaker of the National Assembly, Thandi Modise, go. Thank you very much for your time, man. Thank you very much. Well, I can tell you, Paul, that we're also later in the day going to be joined by the Chair of Chairs, Cedric Froelich, someone who also has not escaped the controversies that are coming out of the Zondo Commission. So it's going to be part and parcel of the discussions as we edge closer to the hour of 7 o'clock this evening